Thing. Welcome everybody. Happy Friday. Right. Let's obviously go through. Had very two lovely trades you can see here. Beautiful rejections, perfect placement, everything. Right, let's go through what is actually happening and why. So, obviously, first of all, the first thing you look at before you do anything, we've got to look at the dollar here, yeah? All right, we're smushed in between 998. You can see here we can't break it. Can't break this, right? We've tried three times. There isn't enough either way. I would say there is more chance just because of what's going on politically. We've got obviously Mexico, we've got Iran, we've got obviously, lower interest rates potentially coming because everyone's inflation's under control. So that means for me, there's probably more chances pushing, just breaking a little bit. I don't think we're going to have anything wild today. We'll go through that in a minute. Yields, obviously, like I'd said, the dollar. For dollar to break 98, yields have to come back up here. Let me just delete this, otherwise I'm going to have to go through these individually. There we go. Right. So for obviously the dollar to break 98, we're obviously going to have to, trade be trading back above this 4100 area on, yields. We've also got stocks which are a bit kind of, mixed with marks, a few consolidation zones up, but they did take a bit of a hit yesterday. So that's why I'm, favoring flows towards obviously other currencies, and obviously favoring the dollar to weaken and come back into this 97 500 area. So, but like I said, Fridays are always really important, all right? Because, Fridays are kind of a bit of a make or break day. I always recommend if you've hit your weekly targets, you can not trade, on a Friday. But obviously, one thing that and I am going to do this video. I've just been extremely busy. I've also got four one-to-one calls this morning. So I've got 9 till 10, 10 till 11, 11 till 12. And then I've got one after that. So yeah, but I will get this video done. So obviously you will obviously all, understand, how and what my kind of basket method works. I've taken the theoryology of a hedge fund and obviously how they utilize all their positions as one basket, and it's about keeping their basket afloat. And obviously that's one thing that I've kind of taken a bit of that, knowledge, and obviously tried to put it into to the retail market, and obviously hopefully it's working very well for everyone. But obviously it's very important you have, session targets and daily targets and weeklies as well, because it's all about the risk management comes from you not having to trade as much or being in as many trades. So let's wait and see obviously what happens. Looking into news, we don't have a lot for the pairs obviously that we are trading. We got obviously Chicago PMI a bit later on for the dollar. We got Atlanta Fed GDP supposed to come in around about, obviously PMI is supposed to come in a little bit under anything kind of projected, a bit like yesterday. All right, so I got asked, yesterday, oh, we were still selling the dollar, but obviously, it was epic, news, everything was green. However, jobless claims, they're kind kind of this number here is not, not surprising. Yeah. All right. So obviously they're expecting everything to be a bit higher. Obviously, initial jobless claims came in below, expected, but it's still higher than previous month. Yeah. All right. So, you've always got to you've always got to look into stuff like this, all right, because that was the key one, and although it came in under than they're projected, it's still increased, all right, and so there's not enough momentum there to obviously push, swing anything towards the dollar. All right, so today we're going to have a very similar scenario. We don't have a lot going on. We've got obviously CAD GDP, which is going to be, kind of probably a little bit important for CAD, but not too much. Everyone's GDP has been coming in not too bad. I think Swiss, although obviously that was down, it's above obviously where it was previously. So everything is round about coming in together, and this is where you can take what's happening in other currencies because you always get, like I always mention it, a bit of a chain reaction, as to how everything happens. So, right, let's go through our trades. So we had gold hasn't tapped yet. I do see this going. Oh, I do see this going higher. I would like to, see this go higher. So it's still got that obviously ready to trigger. It was very, very close, but hasn't triggered yet. I do think this will trigger this morning. USD JPY, I'm actually going to step back from this one. It's not been kind to us this week. So we had a stop hit on Wednesday, but obviously then had a TP hit on Monday, I think it was, or Tuesday. So, but it's not been the kindest. So I'm probably going to step away from that this morning. Aussie, obviously hasn't tapped because of yesterday. I managed to get out of this about break even, but I wanted to play Aussie a little bit, safer. We then had uh, Pound, obviously flying, entered here, brilliant, really, really happy. Like I'd said, take profits when you are happy, all right? Don't push it. And then obviously Euro, flying here. We've got obviously a little bit of resistance here that we need to be aware of, potentially here as well. So potentially where we are currently at, there's a little bit of resistance there. We have broke back through the 200 EMA on the 2 hour. So that's obviously quite a significant break. We do still have a bit of time. We've got like 2 hours left, or just under. So that candle has just started, but we have broken above. So it'd be interesting to see what happens here. I personally will probably be looking to close out. If I look at my sort of targets, I'm happy with that this morning. So I'm going to look to close out while I'm here actually. So and then what I am hoping, I'm going to leave gold open, but not really worry about anything else. So let's wait and see. Right, let's go through some of these questions, and then we can get started. I closed my trades. I am happy. What should I do with the remaining? Everything's, like I always say to everything, what everybody, I don't change my, mind. That's one bad habit that everyone has. They'll constantly be buying, selling. When everyone sends me their MT4, they will, or MT5, they'll, if I see buy and sell, it is just complete indecision and it's a bit of a gambling mentality. There's reasons behind why I'm entering or why I'm, setting up everything how I do. I go with trend and I go with macros. Those are my two key kind of parts here. So yeah, everything is, valid until obviously I change it. So that's obviously how I've got it in my mindset. I'm very, very strict. I'm very, very boring. But obviously it's very, very profitable, strategy, and obviously way of trading. So yeah, I'm very, very happy with how I'm working everything out at the moment. Noel, if 97.50 breaks clean, we press. If 98 reclaims, we flip. The DXY trends towards 98. Does that mean this morning's trades will be invalid? So what I think is going to happen, um, I actually do think might not be that, but might be this area might be tested. Now, what you've always got to be looking at here, and there's reasons behind everything. I got asked a very good question yesterday about, why don't, if you've got these, zones and the zones always hit, why don't you trade into the, zones? All right. One of my reasons why I don't trade into the, zones is, for example, Aussie. All right. We actually need dollar to strengthen for Aussie to hit. Yeah. All right, but the reason we don't take this trade is because it is, and like I explained to this person here, think of trading. This might be a terrible analogy, by the way, but think of trading like building a house. All right, you've got to have plans drawn, structural drawings, everything. Before obviously you can lay that first brick or lay those first foundations in. And obviously trading's no different than that. If you're looking at a chart, you're going to have a higher success rate if you plan out where price is going to go. And obviously price has to go against you to trigger, so the more you plan, the better. And obviously that's why I don't trade into my zones. I obviously let price trade. Then obviously when it's in, I want to see, or I want to see that reaction, because what happens, it's a perfectly planned trade, right? Markets are doing what you want them to do. All right, and obviously that's the main reason. Is it worth using trading stops? You can. Um, yeah, it's no problem at all. I just obviously like to work on the analogy that if I've hit my target, I'm coming out, and obviously that's what increases my risk to reward. So you want to have, like I always mention, session goals. You want to have morning, afternoon. I'd probably push the goals a little bit higher because what it will do, it'll allow for the days where it doesn't go so well, so if rather than targeting say 1 to 2% a day, which we tend to 20%, potentially target 3%. All right, because even if you're going to hit your two, you're still happy. All right, or maybe target 1.5%, in the morning, 1.5% in the afternoon. But if you're hitting that, then one you're going to be happy. Two, if your average is 3%, but you throw in a few 3%, losing days, it's not gonna matter. You're still gonna come out to your 20%. We shouldn't. No one should be aiming for 300%, 400%. I understand on a smaller account you want to push it a bit harder, but obviously, you want to make sure that you're consistently making 20%. Like I always say to people. I was speaking to someone who's got, I think they were trading about 2K, and I go, you want to be trying to target 10%, the day, all right? And obviously, if you work out 2K, sorry, 10% a month, which is 200 quid, all right? And with a 2K account, if I told you you've got to hit 20 quid a day, no, sorry, £10 a day, you're going to tell me that's really, really easy. Really, really easy. But obviously, truth is, it is easy. But what makes trading harder is everyone pushing it, you know? Because what you will do if you have, 6 months where you've hit 10%, 10%, 10%, 10%, you're gonna be like, you know what, I could take bank loan, or I could sell my car, or I could put some more, money in, because I trust that I'm gonna make 10%, 10%, 10%. And obviously you don't have to change anything. But obviously, what ends up happening, everyone wants to make 300%, 40%, 50%, 500%, and of course, that's when you're exposing risk. Because if you're trying to make 500%, technically your loss is going to be huge. And obviously, if your losses, you got to look at your percentage of, losses. I understand on a, smaller account, you might want to swing down to an overall daily loss of like 10%, but I wouldn't swing it anymore, because that means you can lose 10 days on the trot. It's going to take you 10 days of losing every single day to blow your account. Whereas if you push it to 50%, 60%, 1.5 days, your account's on, So have a think about that when you are trading. So yeah, does anyone have any more questions? Otherwise, yeah, I am going to have to wrap this one up because I've got to get this one ready to school back. and then off we go. But no, I'm really, really, really happy this morning. Do you know what? If I'm honest, euro and pound are my favorite pairs to trade. Looks like gold is about to tap to. Yeah, if I could choose it, I'd only take GBP and euro because I just like how they trend. They trend really, really well. But right, I'm going to end it here. Have a great day. Happy Fridays. We're going to do the boot camp next week too. So that'll be good. I've been given some good topics to go over. That'll be Monday night, Tuesday night, Wednesday night. So I'll speak about more about that at the weekend. So have a good one, guys. And yeah, let's smash it. Let's continue. Let's finish green.